What is that? Ugh. Okay. This is, yeah, wow. Hi, my name is Amy, and this is the Half Caff podcast, where I talk about knitting and crochet in varying quantities. This is episode 13, I think. Lucky 13. And I usually like to record outside, especially in the summer and even spring, but I need light. And of course, we're not quite there yet. I live in the Pacific Northwest, so it takes a while to get that morning light early enough so I can be outside without the noise. So kind of been hopping around different areas in my house. I love my house, but none of those areas are like exceptionally pure and photogenic because it's very lived in. So I'm trying this for now. So whenever I see people sitting in front of a bookshelf on YouTube, I absolutely pause the video and scan all their books. So feel free to do that now. Anyway, I always think it's very fun to see what people have on their bookshelves. This is a particularly special area because this is my office. So all the books here have a theme, which you may or may not already have discovered. And I will talk about that in a minute. So today's mug is also themed. Today's mug is a super special one. I've had it probably the longest of any of the mugs that I have. I'm not a gigantic mug collector, but it happens, and I have some favorites, and it just seemed a thing that I started to do. So that's why we have the mug of the day on every podcast. So this is it. This is one of my very favorites. It's that gorgeous, like cobalt blue, like deep blue, almost purple, like a royal blue, is that a thing? With suns and moons all over it. This one is special, and I actually use it sparingly because it's so very special. So why is it special? Besides the fact that I've had it the longest and I love it, I've decided to let you in on a secret, not secret, that maybe nobody asked for, but I'm sitting in front of my bookshelf in my office, and you could probably see that there are many, many astrology titles on my bookshelves. And I think you can see most of what I've got, probably not all. But I am an astrologer. That is my day job and the job that I'm currently on hiatus from. And I've been an astrologer for 25 years now, 25 and a half. And I've really enjoyed it. I've had a really successful career. Hopefully it's not over. Like I said, I'm just in a weird time, but the weird times, lasting a little bit. So I don't know the future, ironically. A lot of people probably have varying ideas on astrology, whether you like it or not like it. And I'm not going to go into the philosophy or justifications of it either way. That is not what this podcast is about, but I just wanted to share with you some fun things about who I actually am and have been this big chunk of my life. One fun thing is, I'll just take a minute to say one thing that I'm the proudest of in my work as an astrologer is that I've published 2 books. And those books are right over here where you can see. Where are they? Right there. You can see them by my little Edgar Allan Poe polymer clay figure. I love to do fairs. That's where I take my knitting. And so, of course, people have all kinds of cute stuff. So I've picked up a lot of cute stuff over the years. But Essential Astrology and Astrology of the Moon over there. Those are my 2 books. And I've also had them published in Chinese, French, Polish, and I think that's Russian. I'm trying to remember. So that's a little bit about me and what I've done with my life up until, now. I mean, I hope that I'm still doing that. I'm probably going to edit a lot of this. But anyway, I'm going to put my my website for astrology down on the screen if you're curious about more or want to contact me for anything or anything like that. I'm not doing readings right now because, like I said, I'm on hiatus. But if you're curious about that my professional life, there you go. And now we're done with that. And let's talk about the knitting. First of all, I want to show you something really cute I got. And I don't remember who I got it from, but it was off Etsy, and I will put it either down here or in the down bar. Look at these. How stinking cute are these? These are stickers. I've gone nuts for stickers lately. So here's a little monster knitting. Here's a little monster in a cozy hand knit sweater with some coffee, I assume. Yeah. Could be whatever you want, probably. I'm going to put them on my knitting journal. I guess you could call it a journal. Really, it's just like where I keep my podcast notes and some ideas, but you should, yeah, that's a knitting journal. But they are so adorable, and everyone needs a knitting monster sticker, in my opinion. So I am going to probably start a new journal soon. So I think I'm going to wait and stick them on that journal, but I had to show you. It's super cute. Okay. Like knitting. Let's actually do the knitting thing. First of all, what I'm wearing. This is the Under Duress pullover by Jiminez Yosef. Hope I'm pronouncing that right. This is in Malabrigo Rios, which is a worsted weight, and this is the colorway. I think it's number 33. So I think I showed this as a work in progress last time, and now it is complete. I can't stand up. I'm attached to all the things. So I will put in a picture of what it looks like, either on me or on my mannequin or whatever. My mannequin's name is Chloe. So I love this pattern, first of all. It's like a simple V-neck, but it's got all the perfect little details that I would want that I'm not super great at thinking of myself or knowing how to do myself, or if like I want to add them to a pattern or that kind of thing. So short rows, waist shaping, the V is very well done. Did I make any, I think I might have made this, wider. But otherwise, I think I did it just as it should be done. The only problem, and it's not a big problem, but I had a tension trouble here. I've done this kind of V before, and I've been able to not have that problem, but I guess I had it this time. So you can see this kind of line of stitches, but it's very uniform. So I don't know, maybe it's a design detail, eh? We're going to go with that. So I do like this sweater, and I know that I've talked about in, past a couple of episodes, difficulty with sizing and shaping of sweaters and knowing what to do to modify a pattern. So I did do I did all the modifications either because they were in the pattern or I modified the pattern and knew how to, or figured it out. So I did everything. I did my wish list, and weirdly, I don't reach for this, a lot. So I'm going to try and guess why, but maybe I'm lying. Maybe I just don't understand. Maybe I can never be pleased. Again, double Virgo here. I don't know. I did all the things that I wanted. So, the V-neck, this has a contiguous shoulder. So it's not a set-in sleeve, but that's okay because I feel like it's the next best thing, to get that, wherever it is, I can't find it. The shoulder line, it's got a nice V-neck. This pattern, Under Duress, has a striping, pattern. So when you see the cover, it looks, nothing like what mine does because mine's a solid color. But again, I wanted to avoid that possibility of pulling up at the V-neck and having the stripes all warped and weird. So it probably still does pull up, but it's not as obvious now. I will say that it's shorter in the front than in the back. Obviously, because I have a bust, that can't be avoided. But I guess it's more noticeable in this. Anyway, I'm wondering if I should be making modifications for that too. Like, what do you do? Add short rows? Like under the bust or something? I'm not sure what to do about that. So still some discovery work to do. If anyone has advice, please leave it in a comment below. That would be great. Or I'll just keep tinkering away, I guess. So I did all the things that were important to me. I also I ended up making kind of a long ribbing, which is annoying because I don't like to do ribbing, but, I liked the look of this kind of like really narrow and thin down here. I don't like drapey sleeves, and I do like sleeves that can come down further. and of course fit, you know, pretty snug. So I did that. But this is, I don't know if the yoke is still too deep now. I mean, it feels comfortable, but there still feels like there's a little bit too much fabric here. And because this has a nice heavy drape to it, it kind of feels like it's like sort of saggy and oppressive just right here. I don't think it looks like that in practice. I don't think there's so much fabric here that it looks weird. You can see it's already starting to pill, or you can probably see that because I've been wearing it. But it's not uncomfortable, but it's not comfortable. It could be better. So, but despite having done everything, I also did the waist shaping. I took the waist shaping and I just, instead of putting it at my waist, because that's where all my weight is, so that would be not a good thing, I moved it up to the underbust, so there's still some definition in the bust, but then it goes back out again for more of a relaxed fit around the actual waist and hips. That worked, but I still feel like this isn't a go-to sweater that I wanted it to be, and I can't figure out why. So I did mention there's a little, you know, I kind of wish, I guess I wish that the seam wasn't down here, that it was up here, but I don't know. I will say though, that I think I've discovered one of the things that I don't like about this that I just didn't know at first is, I think unless it's going to be like a fingering top, I think I need my sweaters to feel woolly. Like, I think I need, so two of my favorite sweaters that I've done, I mean, three if you count the cardigan, they're all woolly or have a kind of woolly quality to it. Even one of the first ones I did was, the Sasquatch Sweater. I can't remember I'll include it below or somewhere. The Sasquatch Sweater that I did, I really love that one. I still wear that a lot. I love the yarn. And it is a superwash. And it's not super woolly on its own, but it's a tweed. And so it kind of has like some texture. It still has that vibe, right? And it does keep me pretty warm. And then, yeah, anyway, the next one I really, really like is a Melody Hoffman sweater from Bee Mandarins. And that is her, Into the Forest. I forget. Again, I'll put it here. But the one with the yoke with all like the little kind of like trees. And I think there are those big V stitches in those, which I've suddenly forgotten too. Call it midlife. Anyway. And I really like that one. That is made out of Gilead. I hate saying this phrase. It's such a tongue twister, but Derarum Natura. That yarn, is like toothy and a little bit heathered, and it's super pretty. And I just love the, like, kind of like the rough feel of it. It's obviously, I don't believe it's a superwash. It doesn't seem like one. So yeah, I really like that one, as well. And then the Alaska pullover, I think is what it's called, which I steeked and made into a cardigan. That's probably one of my favorites, of all I've made. And then the other ones that, you know, I wasn't sure if I would like or whatever, they are all, you know, kind of like fingering or super washes or stuff. So again, definitely these are all kind of personal preferences that I'm sort of learning on my knitting journey, going on like 7 years now or whatever. But the pattern itself is really nice. Just, it's very thought out. If you've never tried contiguous sleeves before, they're so easy, and they just make this nice. They have this like set in sleeve look. I am a huge fan of them. The first time I did them was, on another pattern that I'll try to put in a picture in here. And I liked it so much, I did it like 3 or 4 times. It's just like a t-shirt pattern. So anyway, that's the Under Duress sweater. I give it a B-, mostly because of my own issues. I give the pattern an A, totally. So next, and that I want to talk about, and the reason this is called Mini Magnolias, this episode, is that I did 4 Magnolia Bloom sweaters. Whoa. They are all kid size. Yeah, They're all kid size, so that's probably how I managed to do 4 in the last time since we talked. The first one I did, so there's 2 actual Magnolias sweaters that are kid size. There's they're all by Camilla Vad, right? Yeah, Camilla Vad. There's a Magnolia Mini, which is I think it's designed as short sleeve, but I mean, really, you can do either one, where the Magnolia pattern is at the bottom, just above the hem. And then there's the Magnolia Bloom Junior, where the pattern is along the yoke. I did them both twice. I like them both. I'm pretty over baubles at the moment. I can't do them with knitting needles. It's just so cumbersome. So I do them with crochet, with a crochet hook. I'm obviously very comfortable with a crochet hook, but you know, still they interrupt your knitting, right? Like a bauble row is just, here we go, right? So it's not my favorite. I do like the effect. I do like baubles. And of course, how they fit in the pattern is perfect because they look like the seeds of the bloom, or the bloom in the leaves or whatever you'd say. So this is the first one I did, which is the Magnolia Mini. And these have been folded up, so you might kind of see that. They've all been blocked, yes. So here's the detail. And that's at the hem. This yarn, you may recognize, it's from a shawl that I used it in a shawl, which I don't remember the name of, but I'll put here or down below. And I had a lot of it left. This is Learning from Elders DK. It's on the Sustainable DK from Honey Girl Farms. I do think it looks prettier in the superwash, but I, got the non-superwash and I'm happy about that. Just more detail of that. So I did this short sleeve, which is nice. Sleeves take a long time. And that's the Magnolia Mini with the 2 leaves on the bottom and then the bloom on top. I believe it calls for a sport weight. This is definitely thick. This is like a thin, or like a light worsted, as far as like how it feels. I mean, obviously she's classifying it DK and I'm sure it totally fits in that range, but this feels quite thick. So this is kind of like a worsted vibe sweater. So I thought that it would actually turn out bigger because I was doing, I think, the smallest size, which is the 4-5. But it didn't turn out that big. The problem that I had with the pattern was really just, I could never get gauge with her recommended stuff. I had to tweak it a bunch. And I just, sometimes you just do not match the person and you just think, how did they get this? But everyone's different with that, right? So I had to work really hard to try and match gauge or accommodate for the lack of match. And that wouldn't normally matter because a lot of times, especially when I'm just doing a kid sweater or whatever, if I'm not doing it for me or for a specific person, which again, a lot I just do because I want to and I just sell them, then it's whatever size it turns out to be. And I don't care, right? So I can use a fat yarn. I just started doing this on my work in progress. I just use the yarn I want to use and it'll just work out however it's going to work out. That'll be the size it is, right? But I wanted to do a sweater each for... So my half-sister's having a baby and my half-brother has already had a couple of kids that way. And so I wanted to do sweaters for the baby and just like, I wanted to include everybody. So I did sweaters for, I guess they'd be my half nieces. Is that a thing? It seems like splitting hairs. Anyway. And of course I do have to have a certain size for them to match. And I wanted to make sure I got the colors they would like. So I asked their mom what colors they would like. So I had to be really specific about that. And so that did give me some stress. So the first one I did, I don't actually have here. It's, I took it to my local, my LYS and, she's, which is Needles and Hooks. Hi. And she's displaying it, as, a sample because it turned out way too big. I was making the 8 to 10 size because I wanted it to be one size higher than it needed to be. And the oldest wears a 7-8 right now. So I'm like, okay, 8 to 10 or 9 to 10 or whatever, will be great. And it fits my 16-year-old. So, it's just, and I think I did get close to gauge. So I actually think what happened was maybe a mix of that. This is the Magnolia Bloom Junior. So that one uses chunky yarn. And I did use chunky yarn. I'll tell you about all that in a minute. But I think there's so much positive ease in this pattern too, that it just looks giant. And so I don't necessarily think it's the fault of the pattern, but I kind of think these all kind of like compiled on themselves. And so again, it made a sweater that fits my 16-year-old, which is fine. And she would probably take it. But she's not wearing a lot of my knits, lately. She's got her own thing going, which is completely fine. But so I just thought, oh, well, I'll just take this in because everyone likes this pattern and it's a great sample for people to see. And it's with the yarn that I use for my LYS. So bonus for her. So here's the photo. Right? I hope so. And, it's gorgeous. It's in a deep dark blue. I think the blue is, let's see. So that Magnolia Bloom Junior, I used, US 10.5, which is 6.5 millimeter. I used Berroco Vintage Chunky. I've used Berroco Vintage a ton and I really like it. Color 61196. They've got other colors that are similar blue that it's called Ocean. This is a little bit different, but it's kind of that vibe. It's that deep blue. So it's kind of a navy, and that's what I was going for the girl who requested it, or who is getting what she didn't even ask for, but hopefully she'll like. I do think it's very beautiful. And I do like how it turned out. It just, again, I had to start over because this is just going to drown her. So I did start over. And instead I did the Magnolia Mini again for her. And this is, Berroco Ultra Wool DK. This is in Ocean. I used a size, US 6 for this. And, this is it. And this is more, sorry, it's kind of wrinkled. It is blocked. It's just been folded. But this is more, that's really pretty on camera. Getting in the lights. This is more, the proper fit, I think. I mean, I don't have a 10-year-old, and I had a 10-year-old, but it's not like I remember. So, yeah. So this one's gorgeous. It's just like the other one I made. I did make the size 8 to 10, and I think that's about where we landed. This was, I can't remember the perfect order, but I think this was the third one I made. And I do really enjoy that one. Also made it short sleeve, mostly because it will only fit them for a certain amount of time. I mean, who knows how long, but only fit them for a certain amount of time. And, we're coming up on April, we're in April now. So I haven't even sent them yet. I'm about to do that. But I wanted them to be able to wear it, hopefully right away if they choose to. So, and short sleeves are easy, right? Because they're short. They don't take much time. So 3 of the 4 Magnolias I made were short sleeve, frankly. There is a cardigan version I thought of making, but I think, again, I need a break. I'm over the baubles for the moment. So this is the last one I made. This is the Magnolia Bloom Junior, but it's short sleeve. I do believe I used the same needle again, the 10.5. And this is Cascade yarn, Cherub Aran. Oh, so I used, oh, right. This is in the Verdant green colorway. Wow, that really pops. This was the color that was requested. And I don't think I went as deep on this one. I think there are 2 leaves and I just stopped at 1. Kind of was because I was over it, and kind of because I was afraid it was going to get too like big and bulky. The yoke was going to be too overpowering. So I stopped there. I did use a fatter yarn than is requested, than is suggested. So I might have gone down a size and then hoped that went up the size for the person who it's supposed to fit. Anyway, it's crazy. I think this is the size 4-5 in a worsted weight, which went up to I couldn't have used, I probably used an 8 on this actually. My project page will say a size 8 needle or something like that, or a 7. But this probably hopefully went up to a size like 6, 7, which will be one size up from the little girl who's going to wear this. I love to see it. It's so pretty. So it's showing up a little brighter on camera, but it is still fairly bright. Verdant green. Verdant it is. So those are the 4 Magnolias, Magnolia Mini, Magnolia Bloom Jr., all by Camilla Vad. It is a great pattern. There are a couple moments where I was like, what? But it was really kind of just user error. Like I've never experienced short rows underneath the yoke. I didn't know you could do that. So I thought, what is going on here? Why would I be doing this? Turns out you can. Ravelry gave me help. Someone on the forum gave me help. I asked about that and I did them and it works great. So I think I still prefer them to do them first because it just makes more sense to me. But that was cool. So I learned something new that you can do that. I'm passing that on to you just in case you don't know. So after all that, I really needed some crochet. And I was kind of jonesing for like a granny square, which is crazy, but I was. And so I thought, a long time ago, I made this sunflower bag. I'll put it here if I can find it. And I was really pleased with that one and sold it at a fair. I did line it and I'm not the best at that, but I'm okay. And so it was a nice bag. I was really proud of it. And I thought, well, you know, maybe I could just do that again because I don't know what to work on and that seems fun. And I really do like the sunflower granny square. I think it looks really cool. So I started to, I kind of tried to scrounge up the last granny square pattern I did for sunflowers. And I did work on that and it wasn't quite doing what I wanted it to. I don't know what it was. It's like there was too much. So what I wanted to do was a brown center, a yellow for the, those petal things. For the petals, and then green to represent like the leaves and stem and stuff. And then because I needed a 4th color, I'm like, well, I don't want to do white this time, so maybe I'll do a blue, like the blue sky or something, right? So then this pattern evolved. When I was doing it at first, I made a really cool flower and I liked it, but it felt disproportional. The yellow was the same as the green. The green even actually overpowered it because it's the outer one. So there's more yarn there. There's more surface area really that it seems because it's bigger. So it felt like the flower was getting lost because of the proportion. So I had to change that up. And I decided to change it up by adding a 2nd row of petals. And in the meantime, I started doing the blue. And I didn't have enough of the blue that I wanted to use because I had to hold it double because it's a worsted, but it's a light worsted. So I needed more bulk to kind of match that. So I had to hold it double. So I ran out of the blue. So I had to use a similar blue that was darker. And it just started coming together. Okay, so here is the bag. And there's the top, right? So it opens this way. And I found these off a vintage purse, a used purse at a thrift store. I paid more than I should have, but I loved these. So there's the bag and the handles. And I just kind of, winged the closure there. I didn't want to do, I think in the first one, I did do a crochet handle and it was fine, but I kind of like this like mixed medium, the textural, change there. So, I really like the brown braid, with this and it looks so like country. It looks so like, I don't know, jean jacket, like 80s vibe. I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying. Anyway, I really love this. Like I might keep it for myself and not sell it, even though I do not need more bags, because I really like this one. So, here are, if I can remember, here are the yarns. This is the brown. This is the Berroco that I used for the sweater I did in the last episode, which was the Little Trees by Jessica McDonald. Oh, yeah. Go brain. I used a Berroco. I think that was just a worsted. So I used what I had left over of that. This yellow is a yellow I've had forever. This is an acrylic. It is, it's like a cornflower color, and I think it's a red heart that I've just got in my stash. This green, if you can see that, is, it's also a Berroco. I don't remember the colorway. And this, these two blues are, one of my favorite acrylic brands. It's, Lion Brand. Is that a thing? Lion Brand. Gosh, do I need a coffee? I don't think even coffee's going to help me now. It's the Lion Brand, jeans line. This is, I think that this isn't new. So I think this might be Stonewash. And this is, nope, it's gone. Something about like a lighter, like, yeah, I don't know. Anyway, I love them. I love them so much. This is just like a cool, this blue is like a cool heathered effect, you know, and it's like they have all the shades of denim. So I love the vibe of this. I don't know if you've ever seen those old, you probably have, those, it was all the rage, and it kind of hops in and out where you'd make like a denim purse out of like old jeans. And like this kind of gives me that vibe, and I love it. This is going to have a lining. I just haven't gotten around to it yet. So again, there's that whole thing. It turned out pretty huge. So I really only needed 1, 2, 3, 4. I think it was like nine squares. So it flew by pretty quick, and I'm definitely down to make another one. I'm out of the Lion Brand stuff, and I'm trying not to buy so much right now because it just annoys me when I have so much stash. Anyway, I think I'm going to make the lining out of this because this is what I have the most of, and it's so cute. I don't know what fabric this is, but I've had it for a long time, and it's just adorable. So I think there could be better choices, but this is a good one, and I have enough of it. We'll see though. The white will peek through, and I have to see if I will like that, or the light green, the reverse side will peek through pretty good because these are pretty gappy. But I really do think it needs a lining. Clunk, put that over there. The next thing I made, I don't think I've ever made one of these. Maybe I'm wrong. I've kind of made one of these because I did the parasol. But okay, so I made a doily. Like this is not a doily house. Like of all the cliches, right? But oh man, are there some pretty doily patterns. This isn't a Grace Fearon, but Grace Fearon is one of the ones I really, really love, and I've favorited so many of hers. I have done one of hers. It was the little mini parasol. I'll try to link it below, that I did. And it's just basically like you take a doily that has, 6 or 8 points or however many you need for your parasol frame, and then you attach it. So I made like a doll-sized parasol. The short answer is I've made a Grace Fearon doily. I don't think I finished it because it's supposed to be a little bit bigger, and it would have been too big for the doll umbrella parasol frame that I had. But I've made that one, and obviously I've made a gigantic doily mandala madness one, I think. Which was fun, but intense. I did watch TV while I made this one, but you shouldn't. It's tough. I also did it in 3 colors because I had 3 shades of green fingering that I kind of wanted to use up. I didn't even come close to using it up. I probably used half of it. But it's still really pretty. So I did Shamrock Soiree, by Julie Hart. There you go. This is fully blocked because it's lace and you really need to do that for it to look good, but it's so pretty. And here's the thing, that's supposed to be a shamrock. I mean, you can kind of see it. You can. But I don't think I did a great part there, or a great job there necessarily. I think in order to make the shape, you really have to be like super meticulous. And I was mostly meticulous. So I don't think it was quite good enough. But there's the back. You can just see where I joined I carried the color, which was challenging because I didn't want it to poke through. So I carried the mint. But for here, I probably, like, I think I would have changed colors maybe here and kind of swapped them. But I couldn't be bothered to mess with that again. So I just kind of did the outer color when it was a convenient time to switch. So just this whole row is its own row, and I just switched there. So I got the 3 colors. These colors you may recognize if you've watched anything else on my channel. There was an episode I did where I showed the parallel, is it the parallel lines shawl? No. I'll put it here. Or somewhere. But I did a shawl that was all in green stripes, which I still really like. And I had some left over. I was kind of on the hunt to find greens that match, because they came in a kit and they just didn't have enough of a contrast. So I had to find a 3rd green. So this is the 3rd green, and I'm using the same pairing to do this. This middle green is a, what is it called? Water green. It's a Malabrigo, fingering. I think it's Mechita. That's the light color. The mid color is Larch, and the outer color is Spruce. And those 2 are from Montana Crochet, hand dyed by her. So this is really pretty. I have no idea what I'm going to do with this. Like, what am I going to do with doilies? It's a little too big for, I think it's a little too big for a parasol, but you know what? I have some frames I'm going to see for a doll parasol. Because, I mean, it's fine that something just exists to be pretty. That's cool. But for some reason, again, just like all a triple earth, double Virgo Capricorn, it's just like, it just needs a use too. Like, so what am I going to do with this? I don't know. But I had to make it, and I'm totally going to make another, not one of these. Oh my gosh, the Shamrocks. No, they're fine. They involve stitches and stitch patterns that I just don't like doing. So forgive me, my camera died. I don't remember where I was. I know I was talking about this doily and all the different colors. But in the meantime, so my camera overheats sometimes and then it needs to cool down. And so I just get to wander around, not messing anything up until it's time to come back. But that allowed me to go get the former doily I was talking about. So this is a Grace Fearon. This is Mabel. And I don't think it's the whole thing. I think I had to stop at a certain point because I had to fit it to this little dolly parasol. So that's doesn't look like much when it's closed. But yeah, when it's open, it's gorgeous. This is all in various cotton leftovers that I had that were just a gorgeous fade. So like I said, I have done a doily before. That was the one I did. I did a really big one too that, again, I'll hopefully have inserted pictures about because that's too big to show right now. So this is what I was talking about. I think I talked about the shamrocks being really difficult. I think that's where I was. Anyway, shamrocks are hard. So I will not be doing this one again, but that's not because of the pattern. However, I can't think of a different way you'd do it, but honestly, the pattern is intense because once you get out to here and like, say if you're doing a lot of different stitches, like, they're like a row would be an entire paragraph. Even though there is a repeat, you know, in there, like you do like from here to here and then you repeat it, right? So from here and here to here would be like a paragraph. And so there'd be like 3 to a page, as you got further and further out. And this, again, this was the most complicated part. So that's when it really got into it. So it's just a little overwhelming. And like I said, it's not, you know, a TV project. I used a size C or D hook for this. I think it was a C hook, which is, I don't remember the millimeter, for fingering, but these are all recommended to do in thread. And I don't work in thread, just a world of no, it's too small. No, thank you. I already wear glasses and I do need them to really feel like I'm seeing what I'm looking at. Anyway, so, this is the Shamrock Soiree. by, what was her name? Julia Hart. She has a number of other pretty ones. So I've saved a lot of hers, and I've saved a lot of Grace Fearon. And if you're into it, go check those out. All right. Now, I still have another finished object, you guys. Seriously. So here's another baby thing. This is called the Ellwood. It's a little old man sweater. It's got the shawl collar. It's so cute. I've had this on my list for a while. This is Jenny, I hope I say this right, Weeb. I'll put it, below. The yarn is a Caron Cake. So that was my last Caron Cake. I used to have a bunch of them because my husband once for my birthday just got a whole bunch of colors and just like brought a bag home and dumped them all over for me for my birthday. So that was really cute. So I had one of these left over. I think it's called Bumbleberry. So I'm sure, I don't know if you can get it anymore. But there you go. I do like the idea of cakes, but I usually don't like the, questionable color change. It'll kind of just show up. There's like this much transition. I usually like more of a sheepy's whirl or something transition where it's, anyway, where it's more subtle, I guess. But that worked great for this. And I did just, I think at one point I did let the fade just happen where it was going to happen. But I couldn't after a while because, this is a baby sweater. It would have, if I wanted to have an equal size striping or relatively equal, it would have been, the baby sweater would be too small. So, I did kind of like cut it up and stripe it myself, but these were all the colors that are in the Bumbleberry Cake. And then I came to the, when I did the shawl color at the end, I used the darkest color. It would have been cute if I'd done dark down here and down here, I think, but that didn't work out. I only had so much of this light purple, and so I thought it needed that. I haven't woven in this sleeve yet, but this has been blocked, and I did weave in all the other ends, and so now it just needs buttons. Where's the buttonholes? They're somewhere. They're in there, I swear. Anyway, just really simple buttonholes with a yarn over and a knit two together. So they're in there somewhere. There they are. I need 4 buttons. I have 2 of one kind and 3 of another. So I don't know what I'm going to do. I was going to make this for my half-sister's new baby. But to be honest, like, this is cute and it looks nice on camera and everything, but I don't care for Caron Cakes so much. They end up, I don't know if you can see that, but they end up having like little kind of like splashes of other colors, like, just kind of dotting it. And if it were like more even or something, like maybe you could feel like it was sort of a speckling kind of thing, which I don't super care for, but it's okay. It can look nice. But this just sort of looks like a mistake, like in here, here at the bottom. Can you see all that? So I don't usually like the way it looks. But it was kind of one of those, I want to try this pattern, and look, hey, this yarn needs to be used up and it'll be fine. So, and it's fine. It is fine. But I think I will, like maybe do some fun embroidery, like a little flower or bumblebee or something on one of these sides. Wing it with the buttons of whatever I've got available, and I'll probably just sell this or give it away to somebody else or something. But I have decided, so again, this is the Ellwood, and it's a little old man sweater. It's like got this cushy shawl collar, and it's just a cute little thing. So I've started another one, and that is maybe the only work in progress I have to show you. Yeah, it's in my bag from Bags by April. One of my favorites. It's a great size. It's got a zipper so my cats can't get into it. So this is one of my go-tos, but I have a lot of great bags. So this is, I just started this yesterday and I'm already on the first sleeve. I was going to use some leftover yarn I had from the Magnolia. So I have some leftover yarn. What is it? Let me tell you the yarn first. So this is the Ellwood Sweater, but this version is done with the Berroco vintage chunky in that dark blue colorway that I did the big Magnolia Bloom Junior in, the dark navy, not the ocean, the other one. And then, I have another one, the colorway I don't remember. Maybe I'll try to put it below, or yeah, I'll try to put it below. Because we're talking about it, but it is a lighter blue, and I did some Christmas socks for my father-in-law in this lighter blue. So I had both of these colors together, and, the Ellwood is meant to be done in a worsted. Yeah. And so the Caron Cake is a worsted, and that's fine. And so, gauge was, pretty good. But I really think this would feel lush in a chunky yarn. And this is a chunky yarn that I had. So I'm like, I'm just going to make the 6-month size. But I'll, kind of adjust the length depending on what my gauge gives me. So I'll cast on the same number of stitches that I would for a 6-month size, but obviously I'll have a fatter gauge. And so we'll see what size it ends up to be. And it ended up to be closest to the measurements for a 12-month size. So great. So I just knit an extra little bit of length then to kind of accommodate where a 12-month length would be. This has its provisional cast on still on because that's how I do the shawl collar afterwards. So that's what the green is about. But otherwise it's just blue. How cute is this? Oh my God, I love it. So cute. So I'm about halfway done with this sleeve. I'm just going to do this sleeve and then the shawl collar, or, and the collar basically bleeds all the way down here and comes all up and around. So there are short rows at the top that shape the roundedness of the shawl collar. But it's all kind of one piece. The button band comes up to the collar and down. So it's very elegant. I could totally see myself making this. This comes in kid sizes and adult sizes, like all the way up in one pattern. It's a raglan. I mean, I have nothing but good things to say about this sweater. It's adorable. It gives you the original pattern is written, with stripes in mind. So it kind of gives you some, accommodation hints for making sure you kind of end up with even stripes and that kind of thing. This I just winged. I just did whatever I wanted to do. So, that's not how the pattern shows to do stripes. I just was like, okay, I'll change colors here. And, oh wait, maybe I want a stripe. Oh wait, maybe I want 2 stripes. You just do whatever. So I really like this. I love the combo of the colors of the yarn. And it feels nice. I do really like this yarn. I may someday make myself a cardigan, maybe this cardigan, out of this yarn because it's just cozy. The one thing I don't normally do that I did on this is and that's what it calls for, and I went ahead and did it, is the shawl collar is in a 2x2 ribbing. I don't do 2x2 because I don't like how my 2x2 looks. So I just do 1x1 and then it's fine. So I did this last one, as you can see, in a 1x1. There's the collar, rolls over and stuff. So I did that as a 1x1. And then this is garter, and I almost never do garter. I honestly don't care for the look of it. I'm not super opposed. I just don't care for it enough that I never do it. But I was like, well, I'll just do it because it's easy. And, then I get to knit both sides. So that's awesome. And, it'll be fine. So it does call for ribbing, here. And I did the 1x1, but this is done in garter. And so they're different, and I guess that's fine. And it looks fine. But you kind of mark where the ribbing will start, because you're doing this all in one long piece. And then you kind of pause for short rows and then you continue on to the other side and everything. So the band is garter, the collar is ribbed, and so is everything down here and on the cuffs and stuff. So I've decided with this one, I want to see what it looks like all in garter. So, I haven't done the shawl collar or the button band or anything, obviously. So the only part I've even done anything on is here. And I decided to do garter instead of 1x1 ribbing. I'll also do it on the sleeves, and I'll do it for the collar and even the top of the collar as well as the button band, and see how it looks. So there you go. The Ellwood. Very cute. And those colors right there. I've told you about those. Okay. Right. So that's my work in progress, which is why it's still connected and I need to stop yanking on this. Oh my gosh, have we come to the end? I think we did. So that's it. I just have the one work in progress. I obviously have a couple works in progress, but I've been pretty monogamous as far as like the things that are really in rotation. So I kind of burn through them, and then I need to find another one, which I kind of don't like, because then I'll stall on what I want to make next, and then I don't have anything to just pick up when I don't want to think about it, right? So I'm about to go out of town with my bestie. We haven't done that for like 3 years. So I'm very excited about that, but I need to make sure I have some things on the needle. So I will finish that Ellwood, probably today. So I'm going to have to think of something else and maybe do a quick trip to my LYS, because I don't have a sweater quantity of anything. So I better get cracking. Happy knitting, or crocheting, both. And I'll see you next time. Bye.